on. And let's get into this Black Panther news. So it's been floating. This has been a story. This story has been floating around all morning. So I was like, oh, this will be a good topic. So Marvel Studios apparently is rumored to be casting the role of T'Challa. More after, it's been more than, I believe, 5 years since Chadwick Boseman passed away from cancer. So they're at a point now where they're looking to recast the role. And I'm like, I'm here for it. So according to the Insider, shout out to Screen Rant for this story, Marvel Studios is keeping the door open to recast T'Challa through the multiverse. The report also claims that an actor was offered the role last fall, a couple of months after Robert Downey Jr. was announced to play Dr. Doom in the MCU, but he passed on replacing Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman in future MCU movies. The report also states that it is unclear whether the new T'Challa will show up in either the next two Avengers films, but with Black Panther 3 confirmed, courtesy of Denzel Washington spilling those beans, T'Challa is likely to be part of it. So the quote here says as follows. With Marvel reshuffling the deck in advance of Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and Robert Downey Jr. coming back not as Iron Man but as Dr. Doom, I'm told that the door is firmly open for T'Challa to be recast via the magic of the multiverse. I heard that an actor was actually offered the role this past fall, a couple of months after Downey's big reveal at Comic-Con, but they turned it down, not wanting to jeopardize their career momentum by stepping into Boseman's gigantic shoes, which may be too big to fill even for Hollywood's most talented Black actors. Now it's unclear whether T'Challa will appear in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars, but I think it's fair to assume that whoever is cast in the character will reprise the role in Black Panther 3, which has been discussed by everyone from Ryan Coogler to Denzel Washington. Okay, so let's respond to that. I do think that it is time to recast T'Challa. I understand, okay, so we're going to have to make this a black and white thing because race is prominent in this. I think it's because white people, it's easy to just recast something after a movie or a couple of movies. Like, they have no problem doing that with James Bond. James Bond, you could do like one or two movies. They've already got a new James Bond in it, and everybody rolls with it. With people of color, because it's such slim pickings in regards of Black entertainment or any kind of, it's superhero, whatever the case is, it's just like it's hard for people to be like, we need to recast the role. It's the same thing even with Blade, which we already know. I don't even know what the hell's going on with that movie. But people had a problem with Mahershala Ali coming out. I'm like, Wesley Snipes cannot play this role forever. We need to be open to allowing other people to come in to play roles. Unfortunately, we lost Chadwick Boseman to cancer. I do think it's time, now that we've had some time between films, that, you need to introduce a new T'Challa. You could do a multiverse. I was thinking Aldous Hodge, I would like to see him, or Yahya Abdul-Mateen, but I think Yahya's already about to play another superhero, but look, we've had multitude of actors with one actor play a multitude of superheroes. I always bring this up when it comes to Chris Evans. He played the Human Torch, then he also played Captain America, and then he played Human Torch again in Deadpool and Wolverine. So we've had people over in the past who have played a multitude of roles. I think and particularly when it comes to Black people, they're like, oh no, I don't want to do it because I don't want to step on people's toes and I don't want to deal with the wrath of the internet. But it's like, well, what do we do? So we just let Black Panther just be put out of the pasture and die because everybody's so scared of bringing a new actor to play the part. Like, I don't understand it. If we could be so easily okay with white people coming in with a new role, although I know people are still up, got their tits in a damn twist over us getting a new Superman, and they go around, justice for Henry Cavill, blah, blah, blah. That's the Snyder fans that are up his ass about that damn movie. But look, yes, we know he was a good Superman. However, when it comes down to the root of it, those Snyderverse films were just not that great. They weren't. And unfortunately, Henry Cavill being such a good actor and a good Superman, he was dealt a bad hand. It was just right actor, wrong situation, wrong people behind that damn franchise. That's just what it is. Now, in regards to this whole T'Challa thing, they did allude to the fact that we could get another T'Challa, and that was little T'Challa, because remember, Chadwick Boseman, his character, Black Panther, had a kid with Lupita. So why can't they do that? It's like either we go into the multiverse and we pull out another Black Panther, or you do it where you set it up with the son being Black Panther. I know Shuri becomes Black Panther in the comics, and they played into that into Wakanda Forever. However, I'm sorry, Shuri just did not work for me as Black Panther. It looked like a little boy fighting, like this little 20-pound soaking wet person with this suit on fighting. It just didn't work for me in regards of, you know, Shuri in that whole situation. But I understand in the comics, that's what happens. But one of the things I did like was that Cheo Hodari Coker, I think that's how you say his name, jumped into the conversation. And for those of you who are not familiar with who he was an executive producer of Luke Cage, and he also was a co-writer on Notorious Lowriders. He also worked on Creed 2, so he's definitely someone who's in the industry. And he wrote a long tweet, and here's what he had to say. He said, "Y'all didn't watch the last movie very carefully. The kid's name at the end is T'Challa, aka T'Challa Jr., allowing for his casting to happen. Not to mention, with the nature of the multiverse, new T'Challa could come from a different timeline, as could a different Jadaka, one whose father wasn't killed by his uncle, or one who wasn't raised in Wakanda. This could also make sense because since the new Fantastic Four movie is set in the 60s and the X-Men are also in an alternate universe, the new T'Challa could come in from that universe. Also imagine I think he meant if. Also imagine if they follow the storyline where Rogue takes Carol Danvers' powers. Infinite possibilities. My pick, Damson Idris, absolutely amazing in Snowfall, and coming off F1 will have plenty of star power. He's also the same size and stature as Chadwick, and his range is off the charts. If you don't watch all of Snowfall, watch episode 1 and episode 60 back to back. Just those two episodes, the last 15 minutes of episode 60 compared the pilot shows a range that even my old late friend John Singleton would have been surprised by, and he handpicked Damson. Aldous Hodge will probably get a look, but I also think besides Idris, some Derisu should get a series. I don't know who that is. I have to look him up. Oh, he's from Gangs of London. Okay, I know who that is now. And I actually watched Gangs of London. It was a good show. Actually, I saw that on AMC Plus, but now it's on Netflix if you want to watch that. That show should get a season 3. But yeah, I already said, like, it's funny how like everybody thought like, okay, Aldous Hodge, yeah, we could definitely see him as like the perfect Black Panther. He'd be able to do that and then also do Cross. But I think that would be perfect. Now, Damson Idris, I didn't even look at him like that, but I'm like, that might be an interesting choice. So thinking about all of this, as I said before, I do think that it would have been too soon to recast T'Challa back in Wakanda Forever. I understand why they did what they did. They unfortunately were handicapped by his sudden death. So it would have been too soon to kind of, oh, let's recast and bring in somebody new. It was a little too soon. You know, a lot of people were feeling away in situations. So Ryan Coogler was stuck between a rock and a hard place. So I don't blame him, even though there's some people out here who say that they don't think that Wakanda Forever was a great movie because it was too much on the tribute and all the other stuff. But it was like, what else was he supposed to do? I'm sure that wasn't the original idea, but because Chadwick Boseman passed away, it's like we have to kind of honor him and we have to have everybody go through that grieving process. And now this is where we unfortunately have to go with this chapter, but we could set it up in a way where we could leave it open for either a future to Black Panther, which we all knew was going to happen eventually, or you bring in somebody where you spin it off as like, you know, he has a son. And now he does. And so they played into that. So y'all can play into that wheelhouse. And yeah, you can pull a Scream 7 and Tom Jump. Why not? And you know, when it comes to Black folks, Black don't crack. So we can have that whole situation. Where it's like, wait, why am I the same? Because black don't crack. Y'all can put that line up in there and make a little something. Because, a lot of people, you look at people like Angela Bassett and all of them, they still look younger than their actual age. So you can play into that whole situation. And I actually think that it will be a phenomenal idea, in my opinion, if they brought in a new actor. I don't know. I would have to see if Damson Idris could do it. I know they'll probably say like I was gonna say Daniel Kaluuya, but he's already been in there, so now y'all need to bring him in. But yeah, for the most part, I would love to see them recast the part. So I hope Jeff Snyder is right. I'm curious to find out who they were looking at to sign on, because they pretty much said that he wasn't going to come in, and they turned it down. And I guess maybe they thought it was a too soon situation. But I feel like if whoever takes the role, there's going to be this overall, oh, I don't know why, they went and did the part and blah, blah, blah. There's going to be backlash regardless of what you do. But you got to tune out the noise. You can't sit up in here and worry about these incels on social media who are going to bitch and moan about whoever gets casted the part. At some point, we do have to move on, and we have to bring in a new Black Panther, and they have to do their thing. And I think it's either work with the new kid, with the kid. That might be an easier pill to swallow. T'Challa Jr. multiverse. You're gonna they would have to do a whole complete overhaul in regards to, like, if you do a multiverse, it can't feel like the same Wakanda that we've already gotten. You're gonna have to kind of come up with some creative choices in regards to that. But I say the easier bet is to go with T'Challa Jr., because that's already been set up. It'll be an easier pill to swallow for the fans. And if the incels come out and start bitching, then those people who actually paid attention to Black Panther, the second movie, could come in and be like, well, clearly you wasn't paying attention to this movie because of this, and this. So I think that'll be the easier route to go. But we won't know until Ryan Coogler has a script that's written and they're ready to go into production. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Um, as my question you can see at the bottom, is a T'Challa recast the right move for Marvel Studios? And who do you think should play the role of T'Challa? I'm more or less go with T'Challa Jr., and they should go for a younger actor, and we'll see how they're able to push forth with that. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.